Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss one of the GATE previous year question which came in the year 2010 related to process synchronization mechanism. This kind of questions will help you to understand the concept in a better way. So I request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. First let me read out the question, then I will discuss the solution with you. Look at the question carefully. Consider the methods used by process P1 and process P2 for accessing their critical session whenever needed as given below. The initial values of shared Boolean variables S1 and S2 are randomly assigned. Method used by the process P1. You know that any process synchronization mechanism will have the entry session, critical session, then exit session. Okay. Now look at here. While S1 is equal to S2. Is it clear? If S1 is equal to S2, then this condition is true, else the condition is false. If the condition is false, then only it will enter into the critical session because there is a semicolon here. If the condition is true, it will again execute the while statement only. Now look at the exit session. S1 is equal to S2. Then method used by the process P2. While S1 not equal to S2. If S1 not equal to S2, then condition is true, it will enter into the what? While loop only. If the condition is false, meaning is that if S1 is equal to S2, then this condition will be false, then it can enter into the critical session. Now look at here, the exit part. S2 is equal to not of S1. Which one of the following statements describe the properties achieved? Okay, look at the four things they are telling. Statement A, they are saying mutual exclusion but not progress, meaning is that the method used by the process P1 and process P2 achieves the mutual exclusion but does not achieve the progress. Look at the B, they are saying progress but not mutual exclusion. C, they are saying neither mutual exclusion nor progress. Option D, they are saying both mutual exclusion and progress can be achieved. Now if you look at the question correctly, they are saying that S1 and S2 are the Boolean variables. Okay, let me take it. S1 and S2 are the Boolean variables. If they are Boolean variables, they can enter only true or false only. Let's consider the four input situations we'll get. One is that S1 is true and S2 is also true. Is it clear? Then the next one is S1 is true, S2 is false. Is it clear? Then this is false. S1 is false and S2 is true and both are false. These are the four scenarios we will face when S1 and S2 are the two Boolean variables. Is it clear? Let me keep it. Now look at the method used by P1 and P2. Okay, now which one will enter into the critical session? Now look at here. S1 is equal to S2. Then meaning is that this condition is true. If this condition is true, P1 can enter into the critical session? No. Am I right? If S1 not equal to S2, then this will be false. Then only it can enter into the critical session. Meaning is that if it is true and false, process P1 can enter into the critical session. False and true, then only it can enter into the critical session. Are you able to understand it or not? If S1 is equal to S2, is it clear? Look at the situation, true and false. So S1 is not equal to S2. So this one is saying S1 is equal to S2, but the reality is S1 not equal to S2. So this condition is false. If this condition is false, it will enter into the critical session. So if S1 is not equal to S2, process P1 can enter into the critical session. Now look at the method used by the process P2. S1 not equal to S2. If S1 not equal to S2, then this condition will be true. If this condition is true, as there is a semicolon, it will keep on checking this condition only. But when S1 is equal to S2, then this condition is false, then it can enter into the critical session. So when S1 and S2 both are true or both are false, process P2 can enter into the critical session. Now look at the situation clearly. If it is true and true, only process P2 is entering into the critical session. If it is false and false, process P2 is entering into the critical session. If it is true and false, process P1 is entering into the critical session. If it is false and true, only process P1 is entering into the critical session. In all the four scenarios, only one of the process is entering into the critical session. Look at this example, true and false, only P1 is entering, P2 is not entering. So what I can say, at any particular instant of time, only one process is entering into the critical session. Now what is the meaning of this one? Mutual exclusion we have achieved. Is it clear? So I can say that the process P1 and process P2 have achieved the mutual exclusion by using these methods. Okay, now look at this one. What there another one is talking, if you look at four options, they are talking about the mutual exclusion and then progress. Now we will check it whether progress can be achieved or not. Look at this example. Now true and true, then process P2 can enter into the critical session. Yes, let's take it. S1 is true. For simplicity, I am writing it as T. S2 is also true. Then who will enter into the critical session? Process P2 will enter into the critical session. Once it entered into the critical session and it left the critical session, what it is doing, S2 is equal to not of S1. S2 is equal to not of S1. Not of true is what? False. So S2 is becoming false. Okay, are you able to understand? This is true and this is false. Now if S1 is equal to true, S2 is equal to false, who should enter into the critical session? Process P1 has to enter into the critical session. Am I right or wrong? Let's consider that process P1 is busy in waiting the non-critical session part of the program, because in a program we will have the non-critical session part and the critical session part. Right now, when S1 is equal to true and S2 is equal to false, process P1 should enter into the critical session, but it is busy in executing the non-critical session part, or it is not interested to enter into the critical session part. Is it clear? So now process P1 was supposed to enter into the critical session and it is not entered. Now process P2 want to enter into the critical session. Is it clear? Process P1 is not entering into the critical session. The meaning is that critical session is vacant. Will you agree with me or not? Okay. Now process P2 wants to enter into the critical session. Now look at here, true and false. So this condition will be true. Am I right? Method used by process P2 is S1 not equal to S2. Yes, true is not equal to false. So this condition is true. If this condition is true, what will happen? It will be in the busy waiting only. It will keep on executing this while statement. So when process P1 is not interested to enter into the critical session, process P2 is not allowed to enter into the critical session. But what is progress? If one process is not interested to enter into the critical session or not ready to enter into the critical session, it should allow another process to enter into the critical session. Am I right or wrong? But in this situation, when process P1 is not ready to enter into the critical session, it is not allowing the process P2 to enter into the critical session. So what I can say is that progress is not achieved by using the methods of P1 and P2. So what I can say is that mutual exclusion is achieved, but progress is not achieved. Look at the four options. Option A is saying mutual exclusion but not progress. Yes, we are achieving the mutual exclusion but not progress. Option B is saying progress but not mutual exclusion. This is absolutely wrong. Now option C is saying neither mutual exclusion nor progress, but we are achieving mutual exclusion. So option C is wrong. Look at the option D. Both mutual exclusion and progress is achieved, but we are not achieving the progress. So option D is also wrong. So for this question, option A is correct answer. I hope you have understood how I solved this question. If you still have any doubts related to this question, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.